Hey guys, good morning. It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Overcast skies today. Kind of day that you just really just want to lie in bed and watch TV all day and have a bag of Lay's potato chips with a soda or a milkshake. Anyway, can't waste the whole day doing nothing, you know what I mean? So, as you guys know from my episode yesterday, we got the mower deck figured out, the mower deck belt figured out, the adjustment on how it engages the PTO, how it puts tension on the belt, and it was pretty interesting. You know, that was the first time I've ever adjusted the Yardmachines MTD mower deck adjustment on how the PTO is engaged. As you know, this model, the part with the middle channel where you can almost sit on riding on it, you know, like a horse, you know. The deck engagement handle goes down 1 notch, moves the mower deck back 1 inch, therefore tightening the belts to allow the blades to spin from the crankshaft double stack pulley. So that's how it works. But if you run this thing into a curb or something, everything's out of whack, you know what I mean? So you remove that middle access panel, and you could see a rod that's attached to that handle that attaches to the mower deck. You basically just take that rod out, screw it either clockwise or counterclockwise to tighten or loosen that rod. And there you can adjust the tension on the belt. So we learned that yesterday. It was pretty interesting, and I think I got it worked out. I made a couple of keepers to keep the belt straight as opposed to loose and bowed. If it's loose and bowed, the belt would seem shorter for the crankshaft. If it's straight, it gives it more length of the belt, therefore it won't catch the spinning pulley. So the rod adjustment as well as the keepers are very important for this style mower deck mechanism to work right. And it's a pain in the ass. Did I mention MTD sucks? Yeah. Well, the only reason why I actually took this tractor, I got this tractor without an engine from my friend Nick from Medford. The reason why I actually took it was because A, he was throwing it out. It's a hydrostatic transmission, which works. And all I needed to do was chuck an engine in there. This engine is from a 12.5 Toro that I found on the street. Engine runs, so I threw it in here. The whole thing is pretty dirty. But another reason why I took this tractor was because there's really not a lot of rust on here at all. The paint is still intact, and all the pieces are here. You know, all I did was add one of these rubber foot pad brake pedal pads. And also I changed the knob on the shifter. The center red cap was missing. I had another one, screwed it back on. So basically this whole thing is pretty complete. Did I say complete? It's pretty complete. And has a new battery in it. So I'm in it for at least $30, right? Everything else I had parts on hand. Speaking of parts, sold another group of things on eBay last night. Quinn the mailman just absolutely hates me. And while he was picking up the packages, I sold my cylinder head assembly from my JS63, the one with the smoky engine. So I tore that down, have the parts for it, threw it on eBay, sold it for $44. It'll cost me about $8 to ship. So I'll make out with about $32 minus the eBay fees and PayPal. So that's just not even, you know, that's just waking up and doing nothing, you know, making $33. If I did that 5 times a day, if I sold 5 things of that caliber each day, it's $150 free and clear. Well, I mean, you pay taxes, but whatever, right? You can just sit at home all day. Let's say I had 5,000 different parts from lawnmowers. And I sold the same thing consistently every day. The sky's the limit, fellas. You can make $100 a day, $200 a day, $500 a day. And that's why so many people have their eBay stores. They don't have jobs. They just have parts. You can get parts by going to Nick from Medford's house and picking up tractors, disassembling everything. And there you got parts for like a month. You know what I mean? So some nut out there in America is going to need this thing or that thing or this thing or that thing or that thing. You know, they're going to need something from it. Somebody, somewhere is going to look on eBay for it. They're going to have it, you're going to send it to them, and you're just making money from free parts. What an enterprise. Anyway, so this lawn tractor is dirty, and I'm going to go and power wash it today. I would have liked if it was a beautiful day like we've been having for the past 4 days, but, you know, got to do something with it. After I power wash this thing, I'm going to take some pictures. I'll probably list it for sale. Probably pretty cheap, maybe $450 or so, $475. I like that $475 because it gives you the $75 room to actually negotiate it down to $400. And then there are a percentage of people who won't even negotiate. They'll just give you the $475. You know what I mean? Well, Henry, why don't you put it up to $500? Well, because you have the number 5. When people first see a price, they go, 5? No, no, no. They'd rather see the number 4, you know, because it's lower than 5, right? The 75 is just... Is it negotiable? Sure, it's a negotiable. Just go ahead and tell me your offer. Well, how about $350? I'm like, get out of here, man. What am I going to do? Lower it by $125 for no reason whatsoever? Come look at it. Then we can negotiate, you know? Then they'll point crap out like, oh, this is rusted here. That's rusted there. I go, it's a 22-year-old tractor. Perhaps you should just go and buy a new one. Do you know how much a new one is? That's right. $1,500. Go. Plus tax, $1,700. Delivery, $1,800. Put it together. Go ahead. Go do that. Go buy oil. Another $50. They're like, okay, I'll give you $475. You know what I mean? It's all about salesmanship and what are your other alternatives. All right. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to start this up, drive it into the backyard, fire up my power washer, and then we go.
Henry, you had a 7-minute monologue.
Yeah, so what? This is the current condition of it. Not terribly dirty, like I said. The whole thing is in decent shape. Decent! I don't know if that yellow reflective tape is stock. I've never seen it on the other ones. It looks like somebody just put it on there. I kind of like it. So the engine compartment, it's very dirty. It's dirty. Very dirty. Problem with power washing things, you know what happens, right? Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you power wash things don't run after you wash it. So you really got to cover up some parts. I'm not too worried about the light sockets. Kind of worried about the gas tank because there's a vent, right? Any water goes in there will eventually make it into the carburetor. So I have to get a plastic bag or something like that. Rip it into 2 pieces, one for the carburetor, one for the gas cap. I'm going to be giving this a pretty good bath, so might as well. If I'm going to start it up, might as well give it a good bath, right? So there's a vent in here. Just going to put this over that, like that. And this is the air filter cleaner, the cover, the base. I'm just going to put this plastic bag completely over it. I'm not worried about that area not being cleaned. I'm worried about it getting wet, you know. Basically put that over there. Put that on top. Turn that nice and tight, so. That's tight, see? Water's not going to get in here. It's not going to get into there. So I'm going to fire up my power washer and go to town. So as you guys saw, took out the headlight lenses. That was kind of a pain actually. And there was a big blob of mud and dried leaves that's been there for years in there. Looks much better now. I took a can of that 98-cent Quick Color Black Gloss. Just sprayed around the rusted areas that didn't look black. During the power wash, sticker flew off. That plastic panel flew off. Some stickers flew off. The indicator for the PTO level, height adjustment for the mower deck, that sticker flew off. I'm glad I found it too. I glued it back on there. Covered it up with some black. Looks pretty good, huh? I mean, for what it is, you know what I mean? I removed the plastics and off the carburetor and the gas tank. And the true test, of course, is now after you power wash it, is it gonna run? So that's it for today. I know, right? What? What are you, crazy, Henry? That's it? Well, remember, I have daily videos, sometimes an hour each. Most YouTubers only have like a 15-minute video every month. I've made enough videos to last like 10 years for a real YouTuber. Anyway, I've got to go fix a light switch in the house and do other stuff around the house for a change. I got to trim my dog a little bit more too. He's got all these tangled knots in his fur. Just gonna have to cut those tangles out of there. It's gonna have bald spots, but you know what? It's only hair or fur. Anyway, so we cleaned this up today, power washed it, gave it a touch up of Quick Color paint, cleaned the headlight lenses, restuck some of the stickers that flew off, verified that it runs and starts after the power wash, which is always successful, because let me tell you, I've power washed stuff before and then it won't start, and then it won't start for a while, and then I'd had to drain the gas tank and clean the carburetor too because there was water in it, you know. So that's really important. It'll save you a lot of time by just putting some plastic over that gas cap and also the carburetor. You know, make sure no water gets in there from the power wash. Because when you're power washing, man, oh man, water gets everywhere. But tires hold air. This thing runs and drives and mows great. And it looks pretty nice now. Not to mention the fact it's a hydrostatic. Remember, hydrostatic, you're going to get more money for it. As long as it works. But what do you guys think? $475? And then maybe take $350? Really is a piece of junk, you know? Yeah, that's what I'll do. $475. We'll take as low as $350. Still nobody's bought my Scots. The hauler, I had that for $375. No deck, but it runs great, you know? I just don't feel good about selling it for $250. Less than that, you know? I've sold worse things for $250 than that. I'll hold on to it. I got more parking spots anyway. Tomorrow, I'm going to put the gaskets on that 17.5 engine that I got, made 1 out of 2 broken ones. The bad piston, the heads, put that on there. Got the gasket kit in the mail today. So tomorrow I'll put the gaskets and put that 17.5 Briggs overhead valve single cylinder engine together. Once I have that engine together, I'm going to mount it on that LTS 1500 Craftsman. Those are the next 2 episodes. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Just in the nick of time, too. It's starting to rain. That can't be good. Glad I got that on video. Did I break anything? I didn't break nothing. That hydrostatic shifting is kind of unpredictable.